Hello YouTube, my name is Isabella and welcome back to my channel, Stubbornly Bookish. Today I'm going to be filming a currently reading / February TBR video. As you can tell, I'm not in my normal setup. I'm not able to film in my room behind my bookshelves right now, which kind of sucks. I was supposed to be posting my favorite reads of 2018, but that video has just been honestly about driving me up the wall. I've tried filming it this week 3 separate times and it's still not come out the way I wanted. Sometimes the framing has been crazy off, or I'm just not able to put words together and it's driving me up the wall. And frankly, it's honestly been a little depressing and disheartening. I kind of have been putting it off, and then it's just, I feel almost like I'm a bit too late with posting that video. This is a tangent, this is unnecessary, but I'm gonna talk about 3 books that I'm currently in the middle of and kind of discuss some of my plans for the rest of this month. So the book I've been reading the longest, I guess, but not the furthest into, is A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabo. This is a translated book from French. It's a young adult, weird, quirky little fantasy series that I'm still having a difficult time wrapping my head around. Really, there's been no world building, so I still don't entirely understand what's going on with this story. But from what I've inferred, there are these major arcs that humanity now lives on, and our main character is living on her family arc, and she is the curator of a museum. She has a special ability in which she can read objects, and by reading these objects she delves into the past of the object. At the beginning of our book, she finds out that her family has set up an arranged marriage and she's going to this really brutal, wintry, scary arc, and she has to do it, if not she'll be banished from her family. I'm 250 pages into this book and I've only really started liking it in the past maybe 50 to 75 pages. There has not been a lot of world building. I still don't understand how the world works. I am really enjoying it now. There's a lot of political intrigue that's starting to develop, and I'm interested in the dynamic between our 2 betrothed because they really hate each other right now. They're both kind of pissed that they're being put in this situation. So I'm hoping maybe to see an enemies to lovers, enemies to friends type of thing. This is what I get for going into a book entirely blind. I knew nothing about it going in, so I guess this is what happens because I still don't fully understand the world. Hopefully I get a better understanding by the end. This is what I get for filming on the floor. My back is already really, really sore. Fantastic. The next book I'm also in the middle of and absolutely loving is Pride by Ibi Zoboi. I'm actually listening to it on audio for one specific reason, and that's because Elizabeth Acevedo narrates it. Elizabeth Acevedo is the author of The Poet-X, which I loved. Pride is a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice, which is one of my favorite books, and it's set in Brooklyn. It follows our main character, Zuri, who has such pride for her neighborhood, and she just adores it so much. And at the beginning of our book, these rich Darcys move into this really, really huge house across from her apartment complex, and she's livid because she knows that they're just going to try and change everything. I love how modern that Ibi Zoboi has made this story. It does have some of the typical beats and a lot of nods to Pride and Prejudice, but so far it is its own thing, and I'm really enjoying this love-hate relationship dynamic going on. I love that our main character here is flawed. She's not perfect. She has made mistakes. And I've been honestly almost inhaling this book so quickly, the audiobook so quickly. If it keeps going the way I think it's going, this may be a 5-star read. I've just been adoring this one. The next book I'm reading on my Kindle, and it's Dear Martin by Nic Stone. I have been meaning to finally bust out my Kindle and start reading some things on it, and because it's Black History Month, I realized, you know what, it's time to pick up some books by some Black authors. And Dear Martin has gotten really good reviews. It's about a boy who was arrested falsely. Because of this arrest, he's been writing to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., just writing down his thoughts and experiences and his frustrations with the world and just trying to come to terms with what happened to him. It's an incredibly short book. I blazed through this all in the span of one day. The only thing that I've been struggling with so far is actually the formatting of the story. I'm really liking the letters portion of this. They're very introspective and like a very good examination of like self and society, and I really like some of the points that our main character is making here. We also have third person narration of just like the day-to-day goings on, but when he is speaking in class and there's a discussion going on, we go to almost like script or play formatting, and we're not getting any description. It's entirely dialogue, and it's just like I'm struggling with the very like however many different aspects there are in this. I wish that this story was either just told in letters. In terms of the content and the topics discussed in here, I am enjoying that. I think it's definitely worth the read so far, and I can't imagine that changing. Kind of struggling with what I want to read next, so some things are up in the air, but one book I know I'm definitely going to be reading because it's out from my library is The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. This is a graphic novel that actually might be a middle grade graphic novel that follows this prince who at nighttime actually likes to dress up like a duchess in like a full wig and dresses, and he really, really enjoys it. And his secret to looking so lovely is his best friend and dressmaker. It follows these two and their friendship and how he wants to keep dressing up as this lady, this duchess, but she has aspirations to become a very well-known dressmaker, and it follows them, and this kind of conflict has gotten really, really great reviews from the people who have read it. The art style looks really cute. I should fly through this in like a sitting or two. The next book, I think it's finally time for me to pick it up, and that's The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. This is the second book in the Broken Earth trilogy. The first book was one of my favorite reads of the year. Check out my video when it finally gets posted. But this one, it's the sequel. I've been putting it off because I'm honestly scared to read it. The first one was a lot. It was fantastic, but so many things happened. I'm nervous for these characters, and I don't know. I've kind of set so much expectations on this one that I'm a little bit nervous to pick it up, but it's finally time to continue on with this series. I'm also participating in this year-long readathon called the Rereadathon, where basically you're supposed to reread a book a month, and there's a different prompt for every month. And I actually did it for the first month, which is great. I reread Six of Crows, which was wonderful, and I should discuss in my wrap-up soon. So I've really been wanting to reread Crooked Kingdom, but the prompt for this month is to read an underrated book. This is not an underrated book. It's very highly rated. I love this book. To be honest, it's pretty laid back, this readathon, so I might reread this one and use a prompt from a different month, and then when that month comes up, I'll switch it and do the underrated read this time, because I really want to continue on. I adored my reread of Six of Crows. It was a really fun time. So a little while ago, I got a little request happy from my library. So quite a few books came in at the same time, and a book that came in is Blanca and Roja by Anna Marie Miclemore. I really want to read this book, but to be honest, I don't think I'm in the mood for like magical realism, and I don't want to force myself to read a book that I think I could absolutely love. So this one, I might return this one with the other two books that I currently have out from my library and take it out again later on. I don't feel like putting a lot of pressure on my reading right now, so I think who knows, I might pick it up, but it's looking unlikely. I also have an e-arc of Descendant of the Crane by Joan He. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. It's a Chinese-inspired YA fantasy, and I'm really excited to read it. I just need to set out a block of time to sit down and read it and like take proper notes for this one because I'm really excited to read it, but I also want to review it properly. So hopefully this month it gets read. If not, it definitely will be read in March because the book is set to release, I think, in early April. Okay, I think that's it for my little chatty currently reading video. I hope this wasn't too long. I hope I'm actually able to post this today. It sucks being a little frustrated with your channel and just like my own attitude towards my channel right now. I've been feeling a little not so great. So hopefully this feeling gets over with soon. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts on any of the books that I discussed, I'd love to know. If there are any books on my TBR that you recommend, please let me know because again, I've been struggling with which books to pick up next. So any input would be greatly appreciated. So thank you for watching. Bye.